Hello everyone. I hope that you must have watched the NMR part 14 in which we have started the problem based on NMR spectroscopy, and I have also named that video problems based on NMR spectroscopy part 1. So in that series this is the second video, and in this video we will discuss slightly different kind of problems in which directly molecular formula is not given, but instead percentage proportion of element is given, and from that one can deduce the molecular formula. Once molecular formula is deduced, then after, like the previous video, you can solve the problem very easily. So let's first read the problem. As you can read that molecular weight is 101. So the basic difference, in my previous session you must have observed that directly you were given molecular formula, while here you can see that molecular weight is given, but simultaneously percentage proportion of element is also given. You can see that percentage carbon is 17 1.21 29, I am sorry. Percentage proton hydrogen is 14.85 given, and percentage nitrogen is given 13.86. Two signal description is also given. Quartet 2.60 delta, and this is the new information for you, 6.8 square. So later on I will explain you what is the meaning of this square. And signal B triplet with 1.15 delta and 10.3 square. So if you remember, here normally you are given hydrogen, protons, number of protons, that because of that actually that particular signal arise. That is not given, instead square value is given. So let us first understand uh, how to deal with such problem. First point is that you must check the total of the percentage proportion of different elements, and it should be 100. If it is not 100, then consider that the remainder is percentage proportion of the oxygen. Next point is divide percentage proportion of each element by their respective atomic weight. Friends, one has to be very careful here. You have to divide it with the atomic weight, not by atomic number. Second is, whatever answer you are getting when you divide with the atomic weight, don't round up the answers. Suppose you are getting 5.25, don't consider them 5 or 6, but keep it as it is. Now again divide all the numbers with the smallest answer which you got. From this prepare empirical formula, and from the empirical formula calculate empirical formula weight. From the empirical formula, with this formula one can calculate molecular formula. What is the formula? It is empirical formula which you identify here, multiply n. But what is n? So n is molecular weight which is given in the problem, divided with the empirical formula weight. So then after, once you get the molecular formula, like the previous session, you can calculate double bond equivalent and you can solve the problem. Friends, in this slide, the steps I have given. Now let us practically follow these steps and try to understand them one by one. You can see that as the first point was written, this total percentage proportion of different elements should be 100. If it is not, then consider it is of the oxygen. So let us check. 71.29, 14.85 and 13.86. Their sum is 100. It means that now there is no question of the presence of oxygen. That's why you can read here oxygen is absent in this problem. What was the second step? Divide percentage proportion of each element by their respective atomic weight. So First we will divide percentage proportion of carbon 71.29 by its atomic weight, which is 12. So we are getting 5.94. As I have mentioned in the previous slide that don't round up the values. Second value 14.85 of hydrogen. But friends, atomic weight of hydrogen is 1. So it will remain as it is 14.85. And nitrogen's percentage is given 13.86 by atomic weight of nitrogen 14, which is 0.99. So we are getting these three values 5.94, 14.85 and 0.99. Now what is the step? Again divide all the numbers with the smallest answer. So in these values, now you know that the smallest value is a 0.99. So you can see that again we will divide all the three values with the smallest one, that is 0.99. So 5.94 by 0.99 you will get 6. 14.85 by 0.99 you will get 15, and 0.99 by 0.99, that is 1. So carbon 6, hydrogen 15 and nitrogen 1. So from these numbers we would write empirical formula, that is C6H15 and N. Now molecular formula is empirical formula into N. And what is N? Molecular weight given in the problem upon empirical formula weight. So let's calculate first. This is our empirical formula. So let us calculate its weight. 6 carbons. So each carbon's atomic weight is a 12. So 12 6 are 72 plus 15 hydrogen. Hydrogen's atomic weight is 1. So 15 into 1 15. And 1 nitrogen. So nitrogen's atomic weight is 14. So 14 into 1, that is 14. Sum is 101. So friend, in this problem you can see that empirical formula weight and molecular weight is the same. But in many problems you will find that it may not be same. So now we will calculate N. What is N? Given molecular weight, that is 101, upon empirical formula weight, which is also 101. So N is 1. So molecular formula equal to empirical formula into N. But as N is 1, so whatever the molecule empirical formula, that is the molecular formula. So now friend, you can see that earlier we had only molecular weight, but simultaneously percentage proportion of elements was also given, and by using that now we reduce molecular formula. So now this problem will be easy. Now let us calculate first dB. What is a dB? This formula contain nitrogen. So 6 plus 7 minus 15 minus n, that is 1 by 2. So dB value is 0. And 0 means our compound is saturated as well as acyclic. So far I think you must understand how to deduce the molecular formula when percentage proportion of different element is given. Now, second new information in this problem given, that is a square value. This is the first signal quartet 6.8 square, and second signal triplet 10.3 squares. Friends, square value actually indicate proton ratio of signals. So in normal circumstances, you may given the directly hydrogen, but hydrogens are not given, but square values are given. So their proportion is given. So easily we can calculate. And there are two methods. I will discuss both of them. And from the square value, we will definitely come to know that how many protons are there. As per the simple mathematics, if you observe carefully, 6.8 is roughly 7 and this is a 10.3. So apparently 7 and 10.3. So A is to B ratio is 1 is to 1.5. We can say that number of protons of signal B are one and a half times more than the signal A. But let us systematically discuss them how to determine protons from the given square value. So in this method 1, first we will add both square values 6.8 and 10.3. So their total is 17.1. Now we can calculate hydrogen per square with this formula. Total number of hydrogens, because now molecular formula is known, that is 15. So total number of hydrogens 15 upon total number of squares which we have calculated. So 15 upon 17.1, that is 0.88 hydrogen per square. Now in a first signal 6.8 square, that information was given. So we already knew 0.88 hydrogen per square. So every square is having 0.88 hydrogen. So 6.8 square in a signal A must have 6.8 into 0.88, that is a 5.98, which is roughly 6 protons. And in signal B, 10.3 into hydrogen per square 0.88, so we are getting exact 9. And you can check also signal A, now we can say that must be arise because of 6 equivalent proton, signal B due to 9 equivalent protons, and you can see that 6 plus 9, that is a 15. So that is also match with the molecular formula which we have deduced, and that also contain 15 protons. So it means that the number of protons we have calculated is correct. In another method, what we are doing, two square values were given to us, 6.8 and 10.3. We divide both the values with the least one, and in these two, least one is a 6.8. So 6.8 by 6.8, 10.3 upon 6.8. So we are getting 1 and 1 and half. If we add them, 1 plus 1.5, we are getting 2.5. Now we know that already we have deduced the molecular formula. So total number of hydrogens are 15. So 2.5 and 15. So if you multiply 2.5 with the 6, then you will get the 15. So here also you have to multiply with the 6. 1 into 6, you will get 6H. 1 and half into 6, you will get the 9H. So now instead of square, now in signal description, we can write that signal A, quartet, delta 2.6, earlier it was 6.8 square, but now we knew proton, so 6H. And signal B, triplet, 1.15 delta, earlier 10.3 square, but now we have calculated protons, so 9H. So this information now we have. Molecular formula C6H15N, dB is a 0, 2 signals, 6H quartet, 9H triplet. So immediately it should strike in your mind that a known combination triplet and quartet indicating presence of, now you know that it is indicating presence of ethyl group. And but in every ethyl group there are 2 protons quartet and 3 protons triplet. But here you can see that 9 protons triplet and 6 protons quartet. It means that we can say that in this compound the ethyl group must be present 3 times, because 9H are given and 6H are given. In each ethyl group it is a quartet of 2H. Here it is given quartet of 6H 3 times, and triplet of 3H. Here it is given triplet of 9H again 3 times. So friends, we can say that this ethyl group must be present 3 times in the structure. Now C6H15N molecular formula we deduced, and 3 ethyl groups are there. So each ethyl is a C2H5. 3 ethyl means C6H15. So if we subtract, then we can say that only one nitrogen atom is left. So now we have identified all the parts. There are three ethyl groups present, one nitrogen atom is present, and Db value is a 0. So compound is a saturated, no double bond or triple bond, neither cyclic structure. And that's why, friends, answer of this compound must be triethylamine. And you can see that these signal A, 9H, they all have two equivalent protons, that's why they're triplet. Signal B, 6 equivalent H, but they have 3 neighboring protons, that's why they're quartet. So I hope that in this kind of problem, which are little bit, we cannot say tougher, but directly in this kind of problems, molecular formula is not given to you. Instead, percentage proportion of element is given for different elements by dividing them with their respective atomic weight, and from that you can calculate empirical formula. From the empirical formula one can have molecular formula. So steps I have mentioned already. And once you get the molecular formula, then after it will be very easy. You can calculate dB, some very important information one can have with the dB value, and then you can easily solve the problems. So I hope, friends, uh, I made these kind of problems clear. So if you practice this kind of problem, now onwards you shouldn't have problem. So for all the beginners, I again insist that you should watch the previous video number 14, in which I have discussed the simple problems for the beginners, in which directly you will be given molecular formula. This is one level ahead than that. I will given the description uh, of the previous 14th video in the description of this